What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and we're here today with another episode of Shadowrun Returns. Where we had left off, we had actually finished off the Emerald City Ripper, and you'll excuse me as I close my menu right there. We're actually looking for an exit right now, and it had turned out that there may be some ulterior motives as to why the Emerald City Ripper was operating. Now, we know at this point that he was definitely in it for profit. He was trying to make a little bit of money off of his already shady business. However, it seems like there's something more, and I would loathe to think that the game is this short, so let's see if we can find our way on out of this area and see what the rest of the game has waiting for us. As you approach the exit, you realize that Shannon lingers quite a few steps behind. Looking back, you see that she's half-turned, looking pensively towards the horror show of Holmes' lab. Finally feeling your eyes on her, she faces you and raises her head in a proud, almost defiant manner. "We have done much good here tonight. We've removed two vile creatures from this world, and so ended a growing shadow that they cast upon the city. Our paths crossed and joined, and we did this thing together, but now and here our paths must divide. You saw what I saw. This isn't over yet. No, and it won't be over for some time to come." A distant cry of pain echoes from somewhere above, and the young shaman pauses to listen to the tortured sound. There is still more work to be done for both of us, but what must be done differs for each of us. I came here to find justice for my brother, and that's been done. His spirit can now find rest, but there are other victims of the Ripper, both alive and dead, who still struggle to be at peace. Many of them are here in this place, filling the halls with their torment. I can't leave them behind. But the spirits have something else in store for you, a different path. You must finish what you've begun. You must confront the first evil that fostered the one we have just ended. Well, we can say that most of the people in here won't appreciate your effort, God. Is there no way I can change your mind? I'm afraid not, but thank you. Because of you, my brother's killer has met swift justice, and justice of the only sort such as a man as Holmes deserved. Death. I will now set to the task of healing those he's left behind. For every madman we faced in here tonight, there are a dozen innocent souls crying out in need. The spirits of the departed will also need help in passing, or else I fear they will come like those we met in the hangar. They all deserve my help. And what about Lone Star? They can't be far behind this. When they enter that room back there, they will have no thoughts other than thoughts of promotion. With the Ripper in hand, my brother will be forgotten, along with all the other victims, but so too will I. They will not be a problem. Whether it's true or not, Shannon's confidence and very presence seem capable of making it true. Good luck to you, Splattercat. I hope you can find the same justice for your friend that I found for my brother. I appreciate that. Good luck to you. Let's get on up and out of here. Looks like that's the old end of the trail for us. Loose ends. The ride back to the Seamstress Union is quiet compared to the pandemonium left behind at Mercy Mental Hospital. Lone Star Squad cars pass you on the road, sirens blaring, no doubt in response to the aftermath of your showdown with the late Dr. Henry Holmes, the Emerald City Ripper. The man who violently repossessed the internal organs of Sam and Jessica's mother, Melinda Watts, and although the killer is dead and his grip on the city is broken, it's clear he wasn't working alone. There are loose ends aching to be tied. The taxi turns onto Redmond Way, cruising past now familiar landmarks until the Seamstress Union, in all its decadent, seedy glory, materializes between swipes of its overworked windshield wipers. Time to evaluate the next move. The Union is quiet this afternoon. The salarymen and wage slaves haven't migrated from nearby offices and suburbs to dabble in the exotic yet. Let's take a look at our karma first and foremost and see what we've got to spend a little bit of our pointage on. So spending our karma here, we've got 17. That's a lot. I mean, that is a hell of a lot. I'm considering putting a little bit of extra into body. I feel like getting a few extra HP might be good in the greater scheme of things for us, but for the time being, let's take a look at everything else first. We can increase our quickness, and we can get better at shooting with our rifle. Unfortunately, the next point doesn't do anything for us, but after that, we get increases to hit by 20%, and we get 1 AP. So we might actually consider doing that. That's a pretty good investiture. Now, I'm not positive. I think that's probably just a buff. I don't know how long that lasts, but it's a tempting wager. The other thing we might think about putting points into is maxing out the remainder of our intelligence, possibly getting ourselves, what does the next one do? Oh, that's the max for orks. Okay. Increasing our ability with biotech might be nice. Increasing our drones might work pretty well as, yeah, we could get up to Class A drones, which would be pretty badass. We could also get a little bit better at controlling ESPs. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do right now. That's a tough decision. We could raise our charisma a tad and get a new etiquette. That might work out for us in the short run. Maybe even the long run if we're lucky. Yikes, well, I think for now I'm going to cater to my combat skills, so let's see what we can get situated here. We don't have enough to make it to Deadeye, but we're going to take that just worthless point right there. Maybe it increases our crit or something, and it just doesn't say it. I hope that it has some passive effect that it's not telling me. And then on the next time we level up or get enough, we'll go with Deadeye. And from there, I think that's about as far as I want to go in our armaments tree. From then on, I just want to put as much as I can into our intelligence tree. So we'll confirm that, close that on down, and we and Woogie shall head onwards. There he is. Johnny Clean's happy to see us, or maybe. Johnny Clean is talking with Cherry Bomb and Miss Kubota when you walk up. Hey, we were just talking about you, Splattercat. And the Emerald City Ripper, ironic that you tracked a serial killer to a mental hospital. Johnny Clean told us where you were going, Ome. We've been waiting for you to return. I thought you knew better than that, Shawnee. Johnny frowns and nods. Yeah, you're right. I should have kept my mouth shut. I should know better. It's just that we have personal stake in the Ripper murders. We each have our own reasons for wanting the killer found. Sam was a regular here and his loss has been felt regardless of his shortcomings. The whole sprawl has been shaken by these killings as well, the randomness of them. No one knows if they'll be next or what the killer might take from them. I admit that the killings have hampered business as well. I'm sorry, but it's true. It doesn't help that Sam's body was found down the street from here. Even my regular customers have been loath to venture out with a serial killer on the loose. Now tell us, Ome, did you find the person responsible for the Ripper murders? The person responsible? Well, no. The killer, yes. Or we can say not exactly. I got the bastard who wielded the scalpel, but whoever's pulling the strings, we'll do that one. Someone's pulling the strings of a serial killer. This sounds more complicated than I expected. It is. The head of the asylum was killing specific people to harvest specific body parts. All of the transplanted organs came from the same donor, Melinda Watts, Sam's mother. It looked like he was putting her back together. The three are silent as the news sets in. So Sam had an organ transplanted from his mother, and then the Ripper killed Sam and all those other people just to reassemble Sam's mother? Looks like it. I sense a cause and effect in this. Coyote and Jake Armitage just left here to attend Sam's funeral. I'm told that there will be a reinterment ceremony for his mother as well. His sister invited me to the funeral and the reinterment when we go there. Think his sister Jessica had something to do with all of this? Hang on, I saw Sam's sister when she was here the other day. She was as corp as they come, but I can't imagine a lady like that behind the series of murders. There's gotta be something else going on. It is clear that you must go to the funeral and talk with Jessica Watts, Splattercat. That's where I'm headed. Of course you were. Thank you for allowing us to catch up. Mrs. Kubota raises her hand and the conversation stops. Wait, before you go, there's one thing you didn't tell us, Splattercat. Where is the Emerald City Ripper now? Well, he's decomposing. She nods in satisfaction. Aye, that is good. So we can talk to her a bit more. Oh, was there something else, Ome? We found this data store at Mercy Hospital. Oh my. This is unspeakable. Murder was not enough for this person? Selling patients as Bunraku slaves? Thank you for bringing this to me. I know you are still hot on the trail of your friend Sam's killer. I'll contact some runners to liberate these poor souls from the buyers in the list. You've done much good here today. The hand of the Ripper was more of a monster than anyone could have ever known. No problem. Good luck, Miss Kubota. I could extort her for a reward right there, but given that she's already given us an ultra-secret like Bat Cave, or the Splat Cave as I like to call it, we've got our own Splat Cave, and that's a good thing. I would hate for her to get irritated with us. So let's talk to Van Grass and see what we can sell to him. I'm enjoying my drink here. What is it? How much would the Super Brawl Championship ring for go on the street? Depends on the year. Let me take a look. He angles his cyber optics towards the ring and ponders a moment. The inset gems alone are worth 800 new yen or so, but a collector would probably pay more for that year's ring. You want me to get rid of it? 1,200 new yen. I'll take the money. Done. I'll transfer it over. Alright, so we got ourselves a little bit of extra cash. It was a mission item. We swiped it during an episode or two ago where we could have given it back to the Super Brawl player's friend, but we didn't, so that works out. Let's see what Mr. Clue has to say here. Hey, welcome back, Splattercat. Good to be back, Mr. Clue. What's the latest news? I feel like I should be asking you. Word around here is that you were closing in on the Ripper when you last left. Dare I ask how that went? He's in the ground. Good, that's where he belongs. And yet your shoulders are no more relaxed and you still survey the room like a man who's yet to return from war. This isn't over yet, is it? Not quite. A few loose ends to tie up. The big guy sighs. I was hoping this soon would all be behind us. The Barons has a short memory, but for wounds such as these it makes an exception. To see this prolonged, I fear for how it may forever change the landscape. Gangs have already started to take advantage of the chaos left in the Ripper's wake, and that only serves to destabilize what semblance of order there was, paving the way for the megacorps to make land grabs and push poor Sinless further into the fringes where the dangers are greatest. Sooner or later, even the Union could be threatened. Nah, a good watering hole always survives. Yeah, let's hope. You take care, Splattercat. Let's go check down in the lair and see if we've got any new shipments or anything that might be useful to us. Worst case scenario is I'd actually prefer maybe to buff up on armor. Considering how our health has been holding out, we weren't able to take a whole lot of beatings back there with Pretzel, so let's talk to the Doc, see what's going on, kind of comb for information as we go through. Doc Castle looks to be better rested and in better spirits than the last time you saw her. She's also clearly had a shower and a change of clothes, maybe even some sleep. Her eyes are sharp and they turn up from her work to greet you. Welcome back, Splattercat. Still all in one piece, I see. More's the pity for me, but I'll still take your money. Perhaps a full physical is in order. You coming on to me? Or we can call it a medical consultation. That's where I roughly determine the odds of your survival based on your professional, proclivities. It comes with a lollipop. So what'll it be? Actually, I'm kind of curious how many patients you've lost over the years. Is this morbid curiosity? She sets down her work and fixes you with a hard look. This expression normally falls on an axis of varying degrees of indifference, depending on her level of tiredness, but now it's shifted over to something decidedly darker. Let's call it professional curiosity. Then I suppose I should be equally professional and answer without judging you for asking. And I shouldn't let it bias me the next time you fall under my knife. To give you a hard number is difficult. There are many who I would have considered patients that never made it home, and so I suppose one could say they died while under my care, though not as a result of it. For the number I think you want is the number of patients who have died on my table, and that number's 6. 6 who I was unable to serve, spread across a 13-year career, and I remember each and every one down to the smallest detail, including the moment where I realized I could do nothing more for them. I would argue that 4 of those 6 were beyond helping from the moment they passed through my door. The 5th died as a result of complications while installing a stolen piece of experimental cyberware, which I had cautioned against using. The 6th? Entirely my fault. I made a mistake. I can't claim I was overtired, inexperienced, or distracted. I simply made the wrong decision, and a young man died as a result. Well, we all make mistakes. Hopefully we learn from them. She picks up her tablet and resumes work. Yeah, well, is there anything else? I'd like to see your cyberware, actually. We've got a good grip of cash sitting around. Oh, never mind. No, we don't. We've only got 8,000. Well, I don't really know what I want to pick here. We've already got our data jack. Let's take a look and see. We could replace our arm with a Silvertech cyber arm. How badass would that be? We could have a robot arm. I have to use the left one, though. Let's see here. Wired reflexes. Gives us movement +1, and we can dodge the first attack against us within 3 rounds. We can also get Shiawese bone lacing, plastic. So it's plastic bones that give us +1 to our body stat. We can also get dermal armor plating, which is basically they install like pecs of steel on you that make you somewhat bulletproof. Or we can just get a cyber eye, which will increase our chances to hit. I'm gonna wait just a moment. Let's see what the other vendors have for us. Nothing new there. But that doesn't mean we won't find something else elsewhere. So let's talk to Eric and see if he's got any new outfits. Nope, he's still rocking the ganger mask and the UCAS gear. I don't know if I want to swap out just yet. I like the fact that, well, what we're wearing right now gives us decking and intelligence. It's just so good. That's the problem, is it's just way too good. As we get higher and higher intelligence and decking as well, that's going to pay dividends. And it says, let's see here. Oh, he just got some catalogs in. So, what's the new hotness when it comes to dealing damage? Well, there's 2 schools of thought on the matter. There are those who swear by their smart guns as such because they make the weapon more accurate, thus more deadly. Then there are those that subscribe to the bigger boom theory, putting all their money on the biggest and baddest rounds. But if you ask me, it's all situational. That's where the real advances come along. You can pack a Panther assault cannon, but it won't do you no favors if you're fighting in a basement hallway. By the same token, a room sweeper might carve up your average pack of gangers up close and personal, but its range is a big limitation. Military life never taught me that. It was dealing to runners like yourself that afforded me this epiphany. You've got to be ready for anything. Let's take a look at what you got. So the Browning max power, if I was playing a pistol run, I would more than likely go with that bad boy. The Predator, I think, outpaces it slightly because it's got a bigger capacity. You'll forgive me, I record all my episodes in a row, and I forgot to turn off my overlay. So, unfortunately, if that's breaking your heart down there in the bottom right corner, I very much do beg your forgiveness. Your forgiveness? Your nets of forgiveness? Your forgiveness? I hope to net your forgiveness? Yeah, whatever. So, nothing new here. Nothing's looking completely and totally jump off the shelf amazing. We can, however, a robo-doc, a med kit on wheels. It's a runner's best friend in the heat of a firefight. Interesting. Or we can get the Strato 9. I don't really want to replace Woogie, but considering how good our attack skills are at this point, I think I'm going to go with the robo-doc. Let's play around with him for a little bit. And for consumables, I'm not a big consumable guy. There's drone repair kits. These are down at the bottom. I never mentioned them here before. They're pretty cheap. They allow you to fix your drone, obviously. Pretty sweet if you can get your hands on them. Let's replace Woogie 1.0. Let's see here. Where is it? Get rid of the Doberman. And there we go, the Robodoc. And that's actually going to save me having to bring a medical mage with me during the next couple runs, so that'll work out in the long run. I wasn't, you know, it's not that I'm not impressed, it's just that kind of, I don't know, I don't like relying on a guy with no armor to keep me healed. New programs on the market, nothing that's looking amazing. There's Shield, I didn't see that there before, but it may have been, I may have just overlooked it. There's also Slow level 1 down here at the bottom. Looks like we can reduce AP. Sniffer might be nice. Execute Assassin ESP. Ooh, hold on here. Okay, so we've got a couple of ESPs which might be considered we might consider purchasing them. So I suppose we'll get an attacker and we'll just kind of see how that goes. And we'll kind of lean on that for the time being. We'll try him out the next time we deck into the Matrix. I do wish somewhat that this game had a bit more free roam to it. I feel very linear right now. I'm used to playing the Sega Genesis and the tabletop where you can literally do whatever you want whenever you want. And so being restricted is a little bit of a bummer. I wanted to spend a lot of time just kind of running around the Matrix causing problems. I think what I'll consider for now is I do want to grab a little bit of... Let's go with the Shiowi's bone lacing, I think. We could use a little extra body and I didn't want to put points into it. So it's going to go into our body slot. And our essence is going to drop by 2 right there. So that's actually a considerably expensive installation, but it's going to be pretty sweet. So we'll install it. Cyberware causes essence lost. Every time you lose essence, the spell's cooldowns increase by 1. See, so that's not going to be an issue for us. I'm never planning on casting spells here. So we'll live with the bone lacing. We're also going to consider putting in dermal plating in the future. I love the way this droid looks. He's got that little blue background. I like it. It looks very... I like that kind of fluorescent blue, I guess is what I would call it. So, let's get on out of here and we'll figure out our next move. We got to go over to the hospital. Actually, is Mr... No. Unfortunately, our Mr. Johnson isn't in here. So I can't get a Shadowrunner for the time being. I guess this is just going to be me. Hopefully friends show up. I mean, yikes. We end up all on our own on this one and it could get ugly. Luckily, I've got a med droid and we've got some pretty reasonable attack skills, so I think we'll be alright. So let's take our cab over to Melinda's interment and Sam's funeral. The sun is nearly set when you reach Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament. Its cemetery, dilapidated and overgrown, sits atop a small hill on the outskirts of the city, a somber enclave of the dead overlooking the sprawl of the living. The Seattle rain continues unabated and lightning appears over the mountains, exposing the landscape in staccato pulses of stark flashes. You walk the gravel path to the gates of the cemetery. Up ahead, you see Coyote and Jake standing by the graveside alongside Jessica Watts and another mourner, a beautiful elven woman in a 6-figure outfit. Whatever Dr. Holmes was up to at Mercy Mental Hospital, the answers lie here, with the interred body of Melinda Watts, the recently deceased body of Sam Watts, and with those attending them at this ceremony. Alright, so it looks like it's going to have us peruse our equipment here, so let me take a look and see what I have on hand. And I suppose we want to equip an extra med kit if we have one. We definitely want to have another one of those, if at all possible. We've got a Fachetti frag grenade. We've got some basic thrown weapons. We've got some projectiles. We've got our medical bot. And so I think we're going to be in good shape. I don't really know what's going to happen out here. I doubt that it would be goading me into choosing my weapons if anything was going to go well here. We have karma available. 5 karma, in fact. And so I think what I'll do with my karma is I've been feeling a little fragile lately. Actually, no, we can do Deadeye. Let's do that. We're going to go with Deadeye into rifle. I was going to put another one into body, but we're going to go with that ability that I wanted out of the rifle tree. And we're just going to live with that for now. So let's talk and see what we've got going on here. The mourners stand graveside, listening to the Catholic priest's words of prayer and solace. Jessica's face is filled with relief as the last of her family is laid to rest. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Lord, receive the souls of Sam and Melinda Watts, mother and son, to live forever by your side. Amen. Thank you, Father. I know that my mother rests easier now that she's finally in the parish cemetery. I'm sorry for the recent loss of your brother, but am glad that reinterring your mother's body here has brought you comfort. She loved this parish so. She opens her hands to the elf standing across from her. Thank you for coming, Lynn. Your support has meant the world to me. Now I can live again with my new family. The woman is classic elven beauty, confident, poised, expensively dressed. Of course, I'm glad this ancient ritual brings you some measure of solace. I hope you'll be able to put all this behind you now. Jessica speaks to the rest of you. Thank you all for coming. I didn't realize Sam had so many friends. I appreciate your support and your friendship with him. I saw him out the night he died, and it's only fitting that I see him out today. Sam may have had his problems, but he was our friend, and he was part of the Union family. Vaya con Dios, bud. Miss Watts, family members and friends, thank you for attending this service. I suggest we don't linger long. The cemetery isn't safe after dark. Thank you, Father. We'll be just a moment. Miss Watts, I know this isn't the best time, but we need to talk. She's guarded, but she plays polite. Very well. Let's not keep Father O'Malley. Thank you, child. Feel free to call on me as you need. The priest clutches his Bible to his chest and then turns towards the neighboring church. Alright, and so I did a little bit of a cutaway to check, and because the episode was in a weird spot, I know from watching other people's LPs and kind of playing with the game, I feel like I know there's a battle in here somewhere, and it's probably going to be too long for us to sneak past. And coming up on the kind of the closing chapter of the game, I really do feel as though it'll be a long combat if we get anything. It's interesting that they bring together all these people at this time, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it off right here. I'm going to call it a go, and then I think we should be able to finish the game in the next episode. I mean, it seems like the whole thing is coming to an end. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me here in the Nerd Castle, and take care out there, everybody.